And it's also that like the biggest thing I've learned doing this show is like everything is data. Everything is data gathering and who is hackable, who is programmable, who is charismatic, who has that kind of what I call the Elvis factor, where people just want to like get behind them and follow them. Who are these people? And you just see where like you just see these people who get real nice real estate on YouTube
Yeah.
get are all have these intelligence backgrounds, and you're like, they studied you, they knew that you connect with people, you're entertaining, you have a very a unique way of disseminating information. We're gonna nudge you into these things. Hey man, you should maybe do a show where you interview OnlyFans stars and tell them they're stupid whores,
Bingo.
you know
Whatever is such a plant, dude. Whatever is so obviously a plant. Oh my God.
But
and
you
and
don't think these
maybe the puppet thinks he's a real boy at some point. Oh boy. But the real estate comes from you worked at this intelligence agency. They studied data on you. They know a bunch of stuff. Are you a pussy hound? Do you have certain views? Will you cause chaos in the culture? Are you a good interview? Are you charismatic? Hey man, let's push you into this
Yeah.
genre of content creating, and we're gonna make calls. And YouTube is gonna give you prime real estate on the front page. Like remember Johnny, we used to talk all the time that Lex, we couldn't get away from this guy.
oh my
Lex
God,
Friedman.
he plays.
Lex
Yeah.
Friedman,
Ah.
like
Fucking robot.
this fucking this AI robot is like every other video
God,
being
dude.
pushed on me
Yeah,
on
yeah.
YouTube.
Fed
Charisma. I mean,
guests.
zero charisma. The charisma to fame ratio has never been more out of balance than it is with
Yeah.
Lex Friedman, I have to say. And he seems
Yeah, I
like a
was so
perfectly
confused
nice
by that.
guy. But I
Yeah,
well,
perfectly nice. Like I don't know him. I have no reason to dislike him, but it's
Totally.
also like, where's this coming from and what is going on?
You don't think it's working though? Because I mean, like Johnny said, it's got all the
Totally works.
podcasters divided up. Some people think Ryan's good. Some people think it's a psyop. So now it's kind of like
Totally
they're
works.
winning because Johnny said it's got everybody fighting in the group, and at least with tinfoil hats. Some people are
Yep.
like, "Yo, no, he's legit," and other people are like, "No, it's a psyop," and it's just like
I
now they're winning.
To me, none of them are legit until they talk about the dancing Israelis live on the internet. Once you mention the
Respect.
dancing Israelis and you ask those questions, I will feel comfortable saying that I know you're not.
That's how you gotta give Marin some,
But-
from Fresh and Fit. He's kind of
Oh,
burning it all
dude.
down.
Yeah, he doesn't fuck around. Myron does not give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, I disagree with a ton of his opinions, but like, he does not give a shit, and he clearly is his own actor. He's clearly not working for
Well,
the
I
Secret
mean, like he
Service still.
was NSA, and again,
Yeah.
it becomes a time where maybe he's like, I'm a real boy, and then he just goes off and does his own thing, and it's just interesting to me. But again, they're always like, hey man, how can the left get their own Rogan? Well, it's gonna be real hard. They're trying to make Kelsey's wife that, and everyone's going nuts because she's beating Rogan in rankings, but they don't know how rankings work.
Yeah,
It's much
no, it's
easier for a brand new show to beat a show that's been around for 15 years. It's really easy. All you just need to have a bunch of subs and you just shoot right up. But
Yeah, I don't even
new
know who you're
reviews. New
talking
reviews
about.
matter more than anything, especially on Apple. New reviews is what any show with any kind of following will shoot past the more established show with way far more listeners just on the basis of reviews alone, which can be gamed. It's so easy, dude. There are these Chinese farms that game that whole system, and if anything coming in with corporate backing is going to shoot to the top.
Yeah, like
because
Hawk
they pay.
Claw Girl, for example.
What'd you say? I'm
I
sorry.
mean, that's the
Like Hot
craziest
Squad Girl.
one at all. I mean, like it's so crazy to me what that represents. Like,
Yeah. I mean, it was so educational for all of us, I think, because we all kind of knew that they were selling us sex and empty bullshit entertainment. But to watch her come to fame from that clip and then get scooped up clearly by someone else behind the scenes, get fed a bunch of money and fed a bunch of guests, like big, high profile guests, for zero talent, for zero purpose other than that she was affiliated with this like hookup culture, like deep throat meme. That was just so blatantly in our faces. This is how they feed you trash down your throat. And the way that story ended is hilarious. You guys know about the crypto scam and
Yeah,
of course.
of
Oh, yeah.
course, man.
20 days. And yeah, it's just like I'm hoping that people are paying enough attention, gathering data on our end, that we can start to learn how this happens so that we can spot it the next time.
I think they're gonna use that Hassan Piker as their little Rogan guy. You know who that is?
No, he's
No.
been around too long, dude. He's been around way too long.
I've just been
and
seeing him more lately, and I'm like, dude,
he's
they're gonna
just
try to use
burnt
him.
every. Like, there's too much. There's too much footage of him saying ridiculous communist shit for it to go anywhere. We
That's
won't
thing
know
about
who the
left
person is.
you're not a leftist if there's not a bunch of footage of you saying ridiculous communist shit.
Right,
all over
right,
the
right.
internet.
I just don't know if they'll be able to get. I mean, they just Rogan is a very specific thing that I could sit down and tell everybody why, because he's a good friend of mine, and I just like he's the face of two things that didn't exist 30 years ago, which is UFC and podcasting, and those kind of came together and blew the fuck up, you know. But what's very interesting to me is this thing that they used to talk about Epstein and how he was a switcher.
Yeah,
Meaning he
code
was a
switching.
different person to different people. He was whatever you thought he acted to you however he thought you needed him to act for him to gain your trust. And that's what I kind of felt what the Haktua girl did. Because if you see her, she's like, "Hi y'all. Hey, I'm just a dumb country girl who just loves spit on dicks. Damn, let's have a fun interview." Right. And then when CoffeeZilla kind of presses everybody, you see her kind of flip into this, you know, which white girls love to do, which is sassy black chick, where they, who you talking to? You know, they flip into this other character, and she goes, "Then why you here?" You know, it's like, what character just entered your body? Because 2 seconds ago you were cutie, you know, and now you're My Little Pony, and now you're sassy. It was like, and then at the end, when she got, "All right, y'all, I gotta go to bed," and you're like, "Oh, you just switched again."
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude,
I mean, that's like a
she's
thing we do
scumbag.
to ourselves too. Like living in LA, you can see it all the time where like anyone that and it happens around fame is like people that get success from being anything but their authentic self. It teaches them in a repeating way that like you need to be this other thing in order to keep that success. And I think that our world and the internet and the online space in general, like there's a whole bunch of people that make it because of just what they're doing and who they are. And they're fun to talk to because they're like regular people. And then there's a whole bunch of people that when you talk to them, you're like, this is an act. Who are you? What's going on? And I think that it's the self-reinforcing cycle of like, if you get your fame off of anything other than who you are, it incentivizes you to keep on being not who you really are and to just sort of like become the act that
Yeah, it's very weird, and it's like I've seen it happen in comedy, man, where I see
Oh, yeah.
young comics who I really think are great writers, and they show up and they're saying some dark, edgy shit, and then one day they show up and it's totally different kind of act. And it's just like, what's up with women? Why do guys do this? What's up with Starbucks? And it's just like somebody whispered something somewhere, and I'm not mad at them. I'm just mad at society because we keep getting shocked that we fall for liars. We don't want the truth. We want comfortable lies all the time, and it just happens. Like, how many times we see these feminist men like just regurgitating women are strong, all the on our timelines, and then it turns out they're rapist motherfuckers who are just scumbags.
Yep. Or people going after the pizza gators as fucking unhinged conspiracy theorists and then getting busted for having a fuckload of child porn or whatever.
So crazy to
Crazy,
me.
dude.
And
I mean, it's no surprise, really, once you like look around, but yeah.
well, it's also that, like, you know, it's like, you know, Me Too is kind of like on its last leg. You know, we got this Blake Lively thing going on right now that probably most people in the show aren't paying attention to, but it resonates with me because it's, again, an unmasking of what to me is a psyop to drive a wedge between the sexes
Yep.
and to weaponize our relationship. And here we are, a woman by all accounts is not fun to work with, isn't a nice person. You see it in interviews where she barks at people and all this stuff. This is Sam speaking, nobody else. And then she has this movie she made, and she comes out and she Me Too's this guy. And everybody runs with it. Everyone's like she's a victim. Everybody's like she's just Bambi, or and he's a big bad wolf, and she just wants to live her life and live her dreams. And it just turns out that she's a complete utter psychopath, because that's almost what it takes to get to that position. This cutthroat mentality that seems to be even worse in women because it's not in their natural drive. And I'm not saying that women can't run businesses or be leaders or anything like that, but let's face it, women tend to go into the more emotive careers. Doctors, therapists, nurses, teachers. These are things that we see predominantly women are in. And now you get this situation where you're in this cutthroat business, and there can, almost like Highlanders, there can be only one, and then at this unmasking moment comes where it just gets you. You've eaten too much land. You got nowhere else to go, and now it comes out that you're kind of a psychopath, and it's just really sad because like people's lives get destroyed, and then we go, oh no, she was totally lying.
Yep. Not only do people's lives get destroyed, but also like actual allegations get muddied. Like now, like all the Diddy and Jay-Z allegations are muddied by the fact that we have fake accusers out there. Yesterday, Sam Altman's sister officially filed her lawsuit, accusing him of raping her all through her childhood. And it's another example where it's like kind of hard to tell. Like I'm inclined to believe her, but the internet is really quick to be like, nah, she's a psycho with like problems. And so it's like, this is kind of a big deal. We should get to the bottom of whether the dude that founded the AI company that's going to rule our lives and teach our children and run our government, did he rape his child's sister when she was a 3-year-old until she was a 12-year-old? Kind of a big deal. And we don't really have a way to get to the bottom of it. And it's easier and easier for Sam Altman to just kind of paint it over as like, oh, she's just crazy. Our hearts go out to her, because it's like sometimes people are just crazy, and that just fucking muddies all the water for all these actual really fucked up allegations that we need to get to the bottom of in order to uncover some dark shit going on.
That's some really dark shit, and it just gets again into this level of psycho that we've seen from these actresses like Amber Heard and the Me Too movement in general, but their lack of concern for pedophilia, like to completely and utterly like have no comment on it at all the Me Too people, not to say anything about this rapid just everywhere at every door of power there seems to be pedophilia. That is the way to unlock that door, is to be controlled.
Yep. And you said it right there too. For people that aren't quite with what you're saying here, Sam, it's important to like iterate. It's so you're controlled, right? There's no better person to give a bunch of power to than someone that you know you have the ultimate trump card on. Like ultimate blackmail is some form of pedophilia or sadistic fetish or something that you know about and have on camera. Then it's like, yeah, give them all the power in the world, because their power is your power, because you control them completely, right?
And if you doubt it, just look for the examples in your everyday world, like gangs. I mean, gangs, they're beat-ins, and they make you, a lot of them, even still now, it's a thing they try to keep hidden, but they make you commit a crime, a really horrible crime in lots of cases, especially the LA gangs, because it's blackmail is really what it is. It's, we're all in this together. We've done this horrible thing. We do these horrible things. Is that really strange? Because if you strain to think that that's happening, just look for the examples that are completely plausible. We know they happen.
I mean, it's straight up alleged in the big Diddy lawsuit with Lil Rod that was how he was offering Lil Rod a Grammy, or a Grammy, I'm pretty sure, and a bunch like a whole bunch of deals and stuff if he would have gay sex with them. which was going to be on camera, though that wasn't explicitly stated. And then because he didn't, then it all blew up and he's like, peace out. And they didn't even pay him. And like that allegation is repeated over and over and over. And it's no secret why that works. Like organized crime does it, gangs do it, the government does it. Makes perfect sense.
Invite somebody to a party, slip him a drink, something, knock him out, wakes up next to a little naked girl or a dead boy or something like that.
Yep.
And now you're compromised.
Yep. And that's where, like, total left turn here, but that's where I get real fascinated by Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump was raised by the blackmailers. Like Roy Cohn was deep in the blackmail circuits of the 40s, 50s era. And Roy Cohn was like Trump's mentor growing up. Trump called him every day. Trump knew all about the blackmail industry. He was friends with Epstein back in the day. He was friends with all these people. He became a successful property developer. But Trump doesn't drink or do drugs or any of that shit that could get you into that kind of trouble. And then we wind up when he's like president, they're working for like 4 years to make up blackmail about him that doesn't exist. And to me, that's clear evidence that it doesn't really exist, or at least that they don't have it. Because if they did have it, they wouldn't have to make up this crazy fucking thing about a Russian pee-pee tape or something. Like, I don't know what the story is with him. I kind of get the sense that he used to be a blackmailer or he like had some sort of connection to the blackmailers. But like, because most people that get to that level of power, it's because someone's got some blackmail on them, because that's how doors get open for you in those spaces.
Right. He knew all the steps before they did it on him.
Yep, exactly. I mean, that's the best I can explain it, is that he knew their game and they couldn't, and therefore he's the only politician that can actually play his own game. At least not literally the only one, but like largely the only one. Whereas you look at Elon Musk, and Elon Musk does not seem to be uncontrolled. Elon Musk seems to have multiple people that have a lot of power over him, that he can go do his own thing until he gets a call from certain people. And then it's like, actually, buddy, we're going to go this direction.
Does he drink?
Let's
Does Elon
reel
drink?
you back in.
What'd you say about Elon?
Does Elon drink? Because you mentioned about
Elon
no drinking.
does all kinds of shit. I've never seen him talk about it publicly, but like I know from firsthand accounts that he goes to Burning Man and that he like he's got a serious thing for knocking up all kinds of chicks. Like if you just look at
Who
women,
doesn't?
I know, right? Like, but we don't all have billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. And if you like look at his taste in women, it's like, I mean, I'm being a little over prescriptive here, but speaking from experience, when you're like into crazy ass weird chicks, that's indicative that you're into all sorts of crazy ass weird shit. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like I'm a fucking weirdo too.
As long as not hurting people, in particular kids, I don't care what you do.
Bingo. Do your fucking
It doesn't
thing,
mean
dude.
anything to me.
And as far as I can tell, Elon does not seem to be into like nasty fucking dark ass shit, but like who knows? But it does seem like there are some people with some power over him, whether that's because of money or it's because of blackmail or it's because of allegiances or favors. I don't know. But Trump seems a little more unhinged than Elon. And I don't love a lot of Trump's ideas. I think Trump's fucking weird and like